Hello one and all, and welcome back to another Logan Blackman Show video. I know this is probably not the video you were expecting because after the Gold Cup, when I did the Mexico versus United States preview, we said that we were going to do a United States World Cup preview, go through the ABC squads. I don't really remember. It was a while ago when we made the first video. We will have one more video. It'll be kind of a mixture of a recap and a Gold Cup squad mixed with a squad, just basically a World Cup 2022 prediction video. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put together a squad of players who played very well, mix them with the A-team players, and put together a full 23-man squad that myself and Greg Berhalter will take to Qatar in the Winter World Cup in 2022. But I wanted to wait until after the World Cup qualifiers, and then we'll talk about the teams as a whole, because the World Cup qualifiers are coming up this week. By the time this video is out, at least one of the games will be done. I don't know exactly which ones will be done by that time, but there will be some done. Okay, let's just put it like that. So we're going to make a video. Jeez. We're going to make a video regardless of the United States. So hold on. We're coming. We've got some stuff for you. We've also got some other videos coming up for you that I'm really excited about that will get done in the near future, hopefully. But right now, we have got a 2021-2022 NFL season preview to do. And unlike the previous videos that we have done in regards to the NFL previews, we're just going to do an AFC video first, and then we're going to do an NFC video. The past 2 or 3 videos we made, I think 3 NFL previews we made in total, they're all like an hour long. I'm going to try and keep this a little bit shorter and try not to over-explain things as much. So I think keeping it with just the AFC and just the NFC will work very, very well for me. We're going to go over each division standings, records, key players, key losses, injuries, draft picks, playoff spots, end of season awards. We're going to do that one probably in the second video, which by reading the title, you can tell that this is the AFC one. So we're going to be talking about the awards in the NFC one, but we're going to go over who made the playoffs, division standings, all that in each video. And we're going to talk a Super Bowl champion in the next one, because that's when you'll know, oh, this is what the NFC will look like. We already know what the AFC will look like. So let's go over what the NFC looks like, and then we can actually crown ourselves a Super Bowl champion. Because for those of you who are unaware, and there might be some of you that are unaware of this fact, that the NFC and the AFC had to play each other in the Super Bowl. So we don't do an NFC preview. It's kind of hard to say, oh, this team in the AFC will win the Super Bowl when we don't even know who the NFC team is. And as you can probably tell from what I'm wearing right now and past videos I've made, I am a New England Patriots fan. So we are here to talk about an NFL preview yet again. And I'm joking. I know it might seem obvious that I'm not a New England Patriots fan, but there might be some people out there that take that seriously and it might get clipped. I don't know, but we're Buffalo Bills fans here. Very excited for this upcoming season. Coming off a very good season last year. I got 2 boxes. 2 boxes of Josh's Jack cereal. Like, we're talking about Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. You got Aaron Rodgers winning the MVP this year. How many boxes of cereal does Aaron Rodgers have? Huh? How many? Does he have any cereal boxes? Because if he does, I would love to know what they're called and what they are. Because my MVP has his own cereal. That's what we care about in the MVP. This one came out last year, and this one came in the mail today. So I'm very excited that we got 2 boxes of the greatest cereal of them all. We got 4 boxes of each. And it's even got crossword puzzles on. Like, Aaron Rodgers wouldn't be doing that. And you got trivia questions on the back of the blue one. Like, the gulf between Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen is ridiculous. And I'm sick and tired of it. That's a joke. But, well, we're on the topic of the Buffalo Bills. Might as well just start the video off with them. And I'm not going to do the wheel thing like we've done in the past. That also takes up a lot of time. That stupid-ass intro I just did also took up a fair bit of time talking about why Josh is a superior quarterback because he has a cereal box and Aaron Rodgers, to my knowledge anyways, does not. So there we go on that. But the Buffalo Bills go in the AFC East. We're just going by each division. Unsurprisingly, the Buffalo Bills are going to win the AFC East. I would be really, really shocked overall if the Buffalo Bills did not manage to win the AFC East for the second straight year. Yes, I'm aware of the Jets, the Patriots, and the Dolphins should be better. Mostly the Patriots and Jets, they will be better than last year. The Jets, it's hard to do worse than 2 wins. And then for the Patriots, they're bringing a lot of people back. But the Bills also brought everybody back. They brought almost every single starter back from the season before, apart from John Brown, who just asked to get cut from the Las Vegas Raiders. But the Bills are looking good. I mean, they played their preseason games, looked good in all of them, especially against the Bears game, against the Bears with Mitch Trubisky, having the revenge game. It's really nice to have such great competition like that on the roster. You got the reigning MVP and the guy that should have won the MVP on the same roster. Can't get much better than that. But in all seriousness, the Bills' defense is still good. I'm worried about that corner opposite of Tre'Davious White, who is one of the most underrated, he's the most underrated corner in the NFL, or at least underappreciated corner in the NFL. On the opposite side of him, you got Dane Jackson and Levi Wallace battling out. The run defense kind of worries me at times. They are getting Star Lotulelei back in the middle of the defense, which should certainly help. You got 2 new edge rushers and Carlos Basham and Gregor Rousseau, who's looked really good in preseason. And AJ Epineza, the second-year player from Iowa, also has looked really good in preseason. We already know what Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, another really underrated defensive player for the Buffalo Bills. Offensively, we already talked about it. They brought everybody back. The only real question marks, I guess you can have about the Bills' offense is what they're going to do in the run game. They did bring in Matt Breida this offseason, who's one of the fastest players in the NFL, which will be a nice compliment with Zach Moss and Devin Singletary. So those 3 will be battling for carries in Buffalo's offense. And then the tight end position. I think they only have 2 tight ends on the active roster. They do have Reggie Gillum, who can play both tight end and fullback, but I think he's registered as a fullback. Passing game, we don't need to go over the passing game. I mean, Stephon Diggs has led the league in receiving yards this year. Gabe Davis is going into his second year. He's going to get a lot more attention. The Bills are going to be fine. And yet again, they're going to have another season where they win the AFC East. This time, though, there's 17 games, if you didn't know that. So the Buffalo Bills, in my opinion, will be going 13-4 for the 2021-2022 season. And we are underway for the NFL season preview. Got the first team out of the way. Fantastic. So moving on to the next team in the AFC East, I'm just going to say right now, the New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins are neck and neck in my eyes. The Patriots, though they finished 7-9 last year, are bringing a crap ton of players back. It seems like they got the situation with Stephon Gilmore figured out, even though he is going to be hurt to start the season. Dante Hightower is coming back, which is huge for their defense. And offensively, you got some key offensive linemen back. You got Trent Brown back from the Las Vegas Raiders. You brought in Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith at the tight end spot. You still got your trio or 4, however many running backs you have. They're going to rotate all of them. You brought in Nelson Aguilar's coming off a good year with the Las Vegas Raiders. And you got Kendrick Bourne from the San Francisco 49ers. But the one thing that's very interesting for the Patriots, yesterday, or I guess when the deadline day, to the cut day, I guess, where they had to cut the roster down to 53-man, 53 players on Tuesday. Cam Newton was one of the surprising cuts around the NFL. So we're still waiting to see where he goes. But McCorkle Jones is the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots. And though I think the Patriots will be better than what they were last year because of the amount of players they're bringing back and the people they brought in from free agency and who they drafted, I don't think the Patriots really put the Bills on notice like Booger McFarland said. I say the Patriots are better, but did they really close the gap? I think Mac Jones is a great quarterback. We saw him ball out at Alabama, one of the most accurate passers we've seen ever in college football. Very similar to that of Tom Brady. Now, I'm not saying he is Tom Brady or will ever become Tom Brady, but he has a lot of similar tendencies to Tom Brady. He's not the fastest, not the most athletic quarterback out there. He's accurate, doesn't have the strongest arm in the world, is very smart, prepares well, and has good feet in the pocket. That's what Tom Brady is. And you look at the combine pictures, they're not the most like, oh, we got to go after that guy. That's not what they are. But Mac Jones is a very good quarterback, and I, as a Bills fan, do fear, I guess, the Patriots more with Mac Jones and Cam Newton, who had a horrendous season. But a lot of that goes down, again, to the injuries they had, to the opt-outs through COVID and all that stuff, so the Patriots were bound to have a bad year. And that's the hangover year post-Brady. You're going to have that. But the Patriots this year, 7-9 last year, I'm going to give them a nice 10-7 record. I could see them going one better than that. I could also see them going one worse than that, but I am going to go right in the middle at 10-7. And for the Miami Dolphins, they did announce, unsurprisingly, Tua as their starting quarterback going into the season. Maybe to some surprise, that Reed Sinnett wasn't named the starter for the Miami Dolphins this year, but that's a whole nother controversy we are going to get into another time. I mean, the dude just led the NFL in week 3 of the preseason passing yards. He just led every quarterback in passing yards, and now he's not the star. Okay, whatever. We're not going to get into that right now. But the Dolphins will be good. Brian Flores is a really smart defensive coach. You know the defense is going to be good. Xavier Howard's coming off a season where he just had 10 interceptions, so you would expect people to stray away from him, but Byron Jones is on the other side. See, it's not like you've got a very weak corner opposite of him, but the Dolphins' defense will be fine. Offensively, you brought in Will Fuller, who will be suspended for, I think, 4 games? I think that's what it is. And Jalen Waddle, who was a freaking beast in college. And before he got hurt against Tennessee in week 5, he was having the better season of Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle. He was having the better season. Mike Gesicki, very good tight end as well. Getting weapons for Tua was key this offseason. They attacked that need, and they did it. The run game is a little suspect for me, but we'll see how they do with the run game this year. The Dolphins, though, it all surrounds Tua. How good is Tua going to be? If he's a game manager, the Dolphins won't hesitate to move on from Tua. Now, in my opinion, Tua had a very normal rookie season. But it's just the fact that you see the other people in his rookie class, like Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow, before he got hurt, were both balling out last year. And Tua, before he dropped the infamous, "I thought this would be a lot harder" quote, he was doing well. And then it all got, surprisingly, harder. Now, you don't have Ryan Fitzpatrick anymore to be the closer. Jacoby Brissett's there as a backup, who is a good backup. He's a fine backup. We'll see how Tua does. Tua, how good he is will determine how good this team is. But right now, I don't think they got worse. I just think the teams around them got better. I'm going to stick them with the same wins as last year. So 10 wins, going 10-7 in the division. And finally, I mean, no awards for guessing who's coming in last place in this division, the New York Jets. I like what the Jets did this offseason, though we're going to clown the Jets a little bit because it's the Jets and a fun thing to do. You got a quarterback in Zach Wilson, and unlike the previous regime, you looked at your quarterback and go, you know what? We should probably help him out a little bit. You look at that draft last year. In the first round, you traded up to get Elijah Vera Tucker. Second round, you got Elijah Moore from Ole Miss, who a lot of people are expecting to have a really good rookie season. Hell, A.J. Brown just basically said he'd bet all of his game checks that Elijah Moore would win Rookie of the Year. Now, I'm not going to say I agree with that, but Elijah Moore should be good this year. Then Michael Carter in the 4th round is a freaking steal, one of my favorite draft picks in the entire 2021 NFL draft. The Jets looked at the quarterback they got and go, well, we're going to build around him. So the Jets have some smart people in place right now. Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas seem to know what they're doing. The offense it's not going to be amazing. You're going to have some growing pains in there, but you got Corey Davis in this offseason as well, which will be very, very nice for Zach Wilson. I like the Jets. Not like as a fan, but they're not going to be good. They're not going to be amazing this year, but they're not going to be 2-14 this year. Defense, you've had some injuries around, but that's bound to happen. So they're going to get some knocked points for that. But I think the Jets, with the talent they have on offense, and Robert Saleh on defense, and one of the LaFleur brothers, I can't remember if it's Mike or Matt. I mean, you can't. Why do you have kids with the same 4-letter names that start with the same letter? It makes it impossible for people like me to remember what your name is, and I can't remember it because I don't really give a shit. That's probably one of the reasons why. But the Jets, for their standard of the past few years, are going to be fine. I think 5-12 is a realistic number for them, but I like Zach Wilson. We'll see how he does this year. I'm excited to see what they do here, but the way I'm talking about them, it makes it seem like I'm saying they're going to be a playoff team. I'm giving them 5 wins. But, I mean, it's more excited for their future. If I'm looking at it from a neutral point of view and from a point of view of a Jets fan, I would be excited for what the Jets are building there in New Jersey. But right now, 5-12 I think is fine. Get the young team in there, make some improvements the next offseason, and then actually try to build something there with the Jets. But you got the foundation there. Now moving on to the next division on here. We just went over to the east side. Might as well go to the west side of the country. The AFC West, we've got some exciting teams here. Most notably, the Kansas City Chiefs. And oh my God, can you believe that we're saying the Kansas City Chiefs win the AFC West? I mean, no. Everybody loves Patrick Mahomes. Everybody loves Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and Andy Reid. Everybody loves watching these guys play. And the Chiefs went out this offseason, saw a position of need, or just a group thing of need, and addressed the offensive line. Getting Orlando Brown this offseason to replace Eric Fisher Huge upgrade. He wanted to be a left tackle. He's playing right in Baltimore, but Ronnie Stanley's an all-pro left tackle, so it's kind of hard to go, we're going to play you at left tackle now, and then we're going to move on from our all-pro lineman here and just trade Orlando Brown. Now he's the starting left tackle for the Chiefs. Defensively, they'll be fine. Again, it's the freaking Chiefs. They just finished 14-2 last year. The Chiefs will be fine. And this year, I'm going to give them a similar record yet again, 14-3. So giving them one more loss this year. The last week of the season is going to be interesting for a few teams around the league. How many starters they do play. That week 16 teams already don't play their starters that much. Now we're going into week 17. I'm interested to see how teams go around that game. We'll see how the Chiefs do, but 14-3, I'd be surprised they weren't the best team in football again. They're just really, really good. They're just a good team. And then second place in the division, I'm really high on this team. But I know there's some people that are also equally high on them as well. I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Chargers, going at number 2 in this division. You look at the pieces they did on offense, similar to the Kansas City Chiefs. They saw a position of need or a group of need and address the offensive line. You've got 4 new starters on the offensive line going into the season. Justin Herbert broke almost every single rookie passing record last year with one of the, if not the worst offensive line in the entire NFL last year. Now, you lost Hunter Henry, which is a big loss, but you got in Jared Cook, who's a very reliable pass-catching tight end. On the O-line, Rashawn Slater at 13, great get. Filer at guard, Corey Linsley at center, the highest-paid center in the NFL now. O'Day, the right guard, and then Brian Bulaga still at right tackle. I hate to say this, but Brian Bulaga is going to get hurt at some point throughout the season. But then Keenan Allen's still there, Mike Williams, Guyton's there. Then you got Austin Eckler in the backfield. You're going to have some rotational pieces at the backfield. Jackson's back. Joshua Kelly's back. Defensively is the real issue here. Defensively, if they stay healthy, the likes of Derwin James, the likes of Joey Bosa, they should have a good defense. Derwin James has been healthy in 2 years. People kind of forget how good of a safety he is because he's just been hurt all the damn time. But if he stays healthy, I feel the Chargers with Brandon Staley coming in, who's just the defensive coordinator of the number 1 rated defense in the NFL last year, comes in, stirs up the defense, offense will do its thing, and the Chargers going 10-7 this year. It all relies on the fact if their defense can stay healthy. I have no questions about their offense. Justin Herbert's a freaking beast, and if we're looking at the MVP race, 2 of the last 3 MVPs were second-year quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. It's 2 second-year guys. Patrick Mahomes played 1 game his rookie year. Lamar Jackson was good his rookie year, but showed stuttering times his rookie year, and then obviously went off his next year. Patty Mahomes, same thing, played 1 game, went off his next year. Neither one of them had a rookie season similar to Justin Herbert's. If you're looking at just individual stats, Justin Herbert balled out. His first game as a rookie was against the reigning Super Bowl runners-up, or champions. Were they champions at that time? What happened 2 years ago? What happened? Did the Chiefs win? I think they won. My memory's hazy right now, but goes in, plays the Kansas City Chiefs on 15 seconds notice, and balls out and almost beats the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm expecting big things from Justin Herbert this year. I think 10-7 is a realistic goal for the Chargers. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they got better than 10-7 this year. That's just what I'm feeling about the Chargers right now. Going to 3rd in the division, the Denver Broncos. No real questions defensively. We know what they're going to bring us defensively. They're bringing in Patrick Surtain at number 9. I know a lot of fans really wanted Justin Fields there, but Patrick Surtain is a freaking beast. You brought in Kyle Fuller as well to reunite him with Vic Fangio. Justin Simmons is still there. Von Miller's still there. Bradley Chubb's still there. Defensively, the Broncos will be fine. Offensively, you got the weapons. Like Cortland Sutton, you're going to hope stays healthy. Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, Melvin Gordon. You got Michael Carter, or Javonte Williams, the other North Carolina running back, in the second round. So the offensive line played well last year. The question marks lie at the quarterback position, where Drew Lock, Teddy Bridgewater, no one really knows what to expect from those two. I think the defense keeps them out of being an absolute horror show on off. The weapons, it's just so weird because they've got weapons. The quarterback position is just very puzzling to me right now. I don't know what to make of Drew Lock. Teddy Bridgewater is an all-right quarterback. Good guy, but all-right quarterback. So for right now, This one might be a little harsh. I'm going to say 7-9 or 7-10 for the Denver Broncos. I could definitely see 8-9 in there as well. I don't know if they'll go above 500 in this season, but they have the weapons offensively. They have a good O-line. The defense, we already know how good they are. But I just, the quarterback thing, it's tough for me. So I'm going to go 7-9 for the Denver Broncos. Then finally in fourth, the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't know what they're doing. They basically cut or traded their entire offensive line, apart from Colton Miller and Richie Incognito. Everything, the right guard, center, right guard, right tackle, all gone. So they're at new place. That's huge losses there. Wide receivers, you got your hope and Henry Ruggs is good. Other than that, don't know what really else about your wide receivers. Just cut John Brown. Defensively, terrible. I mean, they haven't been good in a while defensively, and I'm got a lot of questions defensively. Now, Alex Leatherwood, drafted 17th overall. You got Trayvon Moehrig in the second round as well, which is a nice value pick, getting him in the second round. But I don't know what to expect from the Vegas Raiders this year. I like Derek Carr. I like Josh Jacobs. I like Darren Waller. But this team, the O-line, the defense, there's a lot of questions in both of those areas. So I'm going to say the Raiders finish last in the division at 6-11. I can honestly see them going 5-12. If we're being 100% honest here, 5-12. I don't know. I don't like the Raiders this year. I don't really like the Raiders this year. Yeah, my hopes are not the highest. Let's just say it like that for the Las Vegas Raiders this season. And since we just went to the west side, let's go to the south side. So in the AFC South, we've got the Jaguars, Colts, Texans, and Titans. The Tennessee Titans are going to win the division again. Defensively, they've got some question marks. They were very shaky last season on defense, but offensively, they're going to beat the shit out of people offensively. Like Derrick Henry, Julio Jones, and A.J. Brown. Who is out muscling these guys? You're not going to be able to. You're just going to get pushed around by these monstrous offensive weapons. Derrick Henry stiff-arming people. Julio Jones and A.J. Brown just out-muscling people for jump balls. Like, this offense is going to be very fun to watch. Ryan Tannehill has become a very nice quarterback in the NFL. And the Titans, other than the defensive question marks, I guess Kevin Byard's still there, Jeffrey Simmons. Like, you've got players on defense, but can they put it all together this season? I just really like their offense. The running game is key because you can keep other teams off the field. That's the main reason I'm really excited about the Titans team. Derrick Henry's a back-to-back 2,000-yard rusher. Like, no one can tackle Derrick Henry. He's a freaking semi-truck running down the sidelines. Poor little Josh Norman. That game sucked in general. That was just the icing on the cake for making that Bills-Titans game last year suck even worse. And I pray we have no more Tuesday Night Football because that was ass. But the Titans, I'm going to have them going 12-5 this season. I'm really excited to see what their offense does with Julio Jones. Who gets more targets between Jones and A.J. Brown? I mean, it's going to be tough because A.J. Brown's proved he's a really good wide receiver, but Julio Jones, that's Julio Jones. Now, losing Jonnu Smith's going to be big, but Derrick Henry, I mean, we mentioned all the players already. I think 12-5 is fair for the Tennessee Titans for the regular season. In second place in the division goes the Indianapolis Colts. You're bringing in Carson Wentz, which in its own is a kind of a question mark because he always gets, it seems like he gets hurt all the time. He's very inconsistent. Now, he is with the guy that he would have won the MVP with if he hadn't gotten hurt against the LA Rams, Frank Reich, his old offensive coordinator with the Philadelphia Eagles. You got Michael Pittman there. T.Y. Hilton's still there. You've got Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. Quentin Nelson is there. You brought in Eric Fisher to be the left tackle for you guys, so I'm worried about that a little bit. But defensively, we know what they're going to get. You got DeForest Buckner, Darius Leonard, two of the best, if not the best, in their respective positions at linebacker and D tackle. Colts, just the Carson Wentz thing. I don't know what Carson Wentz we're going to get this season. So right now, for the Indianapolis Colts, I'm going to give them a nice 8-9 record or 9-8 record. I'm going to stick with 8-9 right now. At least I think that's what I had. Yeah, I just don't know what to make of Carson this year. I like the fact that he's back with Frank Reich. I like Jonathan Taylor a lot. Michael Pittman's a nice wide receiver out wide. Love Quentin Nelson. But the quarterback situation, it's just a question mark. So I'm concerned about that. So 8-9 for the Colts this season. We don't know what we're going to get from Carson Wentz. Number 3 in the division is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence is here. Trevor Lawrence is in Jacksonville. They also drafted Travis Etienne, who is out for the season with an injury. So the people that were crying that Jacksonville drafted Etienne in the first place can now celebrate because James Robinson's back to getting the only carries in Jacksonville, back to being the only back that will get carries in Jacksonville. We're back. we had pizza before this, so I apologize for the random pauses to try and catch myself here because we're struggling a little bit in regards to the gassiness. But the Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, got Tyson Campbell in the second round. They've got good players. Defensively, you've got some nice pieces. They're still really young. Your defense wasn't good. If we're talking just statistics factor last year. Offensively, you brought in Marvin Jones out wide. DJ Chark's still there. Laviska Shenault Jr. is expected to have a big year for the Jags. But I don't know how the Urban Meyer thing is going to work out because that college coach thing can work out very, very well. And you have Jimmy Johnson, or it can work out very, very bad. And you have or not very bad, but it doesn't work. And you've got a Nick Saban. So the tiers of college football coaches in the NFL, you got Jimmy Johnson, Nick Saban, Bobby Petrino. That's what we're expecting. That's the levels we've got here in the NFL. Bobby Petrino quit on the Atlanta Falcons 6 weeks or 12 weeks into the season. He was just like, yeah, I didn't get Michael Vick. I signed up for this job when he was the quarterback. Now he's in jail. I don't want to be here anymore. So this college thing can work out sometimes. Like Pete Carroll when he first came to the NFL, that didn't really work out. He went to USC, went to the Seahawks. It didn't work out at the beginning, and then he started building the culture there, and then we started seeing it work out very, very well. You have John McKay from the early Tampa Bay Buccaneers days when he left USC after winning all these national championships, going to the Bucs, not doing a lot with the Bucs, but there was a lot. That was tough with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, that's the worst expansion team of all time.
Well, we didn't block, so we made up for it by not tackling.
But the Jaguars this year, there's going to be a lot of hype surrounding them. A lot of people are going to want to watch them because of Urban Meyer, because of Trevor Lawrence. But overall, I don't think they're going to be amazing. I mean, they won one game last year. So I don't think it's crazy to say they're going to be better than what they were last year. But 4-13, I think is what the Jaguars are going to go this year. And finally, the Houston Texans. If I'm being honest here, looking at their schedule, I don't know where they get a win. I'll throw the schedule up on here or the other side. I don't know which side I'll throw it up on. What game do you think the Texans are going to win this year? Their defense stinks. They got no options on offense. You got 18 running backs. Now, I don't know who they cut, but they had Philip Lindsay, David Johnson, Mark Ingram, and others there. I feel bad for Tyrod Taylor. I really like Tyrod Taylor, but he's not going to do anything with this team. This team is bad. I feel bad for David Coley, who just took the job because no one else wanted it. Kind of just the de facto head coach in Houston. And they're going to be bad. I never thought I'd make a prediction like this. I don't know where they get a win. 0-17. And that's all I'm going to say on the matter. And then finally, the last division we have is the AFC North. Now, we're going to have a change in the guard here because we're going to have a team that has, in the 21st century, historically, sucked ass in the Cleveland freaking Browns winning the AFC North over the Steelers, over the Ravens, and surprisingly over the Cincinnati Bengals. The Browns winning the division. Offensively, you got one of the best, if not the best, 1-2 back tandem in the NFL with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Best O-line in the NFL. You look at the offensive line, it's all pros and Pro Bowlers all over it. You've got nice tight end in Austin Hooper. You got good weapons on the outside. Defensively, you struggled last year, but that was a lot to do with injuries. You lost Greedy Williams. You lost Grant Delpit. You lost Denzel Ward, one of the more underrated corners in the NFL for a vast majority of last season. Now they're back. And you drafted Greg Newsome, which was a great first-round pick. You got Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah in the second round, which is a great value pick. You got Jadeveon Clowney there as well, coming off the edge. The partner, Myles Garrett. This is exciting stuff in Cleveland. And for a guy that knows his team's going to have to challenge the Cleveland Browns at some point, this is kind of scary to see how they built this team. They're a run-first team. Baker Mayfield is a nice quarterback. If he doesn't turn the ball over a shit ton, the Browns will be a good team. We're going to go 13-4 for the Cleveland Browns going into the season, which is crazy to think about. Second in the division, we got the Baltimore Ravens. They're talking about Lamar Jackson's going to get found out this year. I mean, he was going to get found out last year and still rushed for over 1,000 yards. They won their first playoff game with him at quarterback. Now, he threw the 101-yard pick six, which was the greatest play of my lifetime as a Buffalo Bills fan, but that was his first red zone turnover of his career. Lamar Jackson is a good quarterback, and I like what the Ravens did this offseason. Now, losing J.K. Dobbins is massive. Losing Orlando Brown is massive, but gaining Tylan Wallace and gaining Rashad Bateman is huge, and Sammy Watkins, I can't think of a better week one wide receiver than Sammy Watkins. It feels like every single year he goes for like 300 yards and then gets hurt and we never hear from him again the rest of the season. But Bateman and Tylan Wallace in particular, I'm excited about because they came from offenses where they had to block. And that's what the Ravens do. They're a run-heavy team. You're going to need receivers that can not only catch the ball, but are able to block people in the run game. Lamar Jackson's going to be running a lot this year because of the fact that J.K. Dobbins is out. I like Gus Edwards, but he's not J.K. Dobbins, if we're being 100% honest here. Defensively, the Ravens always have a good defense. You got Marlon Humphrey, we talk about underrated corners again. He's really underrated. Marcus Peters is still there. You got Jason Owe in the first round from Penn State, who, though he didn't register a sack last year, he's extremely athletic. And losing Matthew Judon is huge, but it's the Ravens. And I think if they change up their playbook a little bit, which is what hurt them towards the end because they were running the same freaking plays that they ran when Lamar Jackson was unstoppable. Like, you run the same plays, the NFL's not stupid, and they still went 11-5 last year. Like they did. It wasn't like they went 6-10 last year. I think this year the Ravens will be their normal selves. I think the Ravens will go 12-5 this season. Next, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers, who last year kind of surprised some people with how dominant they were in the first few weeks of the season. They started off 11-0 and then finished the season lost 4 of their last 5 games to finish 12-4. That carried into the playoffs because they got absolutely their shit rocked by the Cleveland Browns in the playoffs. Like, this Steelers team is interesting. You got a whole new offensive line. You let everybody pretty much go from the O-line. The receivers dropped a lot of passes. Big Ben is old, and it showed towards the latter parts of the season. Now, I really like Najee Harris because of the fact he's a big back, and he has an ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, which is similar to that of Le'Veon Bell, minus all the off-the-field issues. Defensively, they got T.J. Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick, and Joe Hayden, who I saw this is his last year. He's going to test free agency next year or something like that with the Steelers. Devin Bush is still there as well. Defensively, I like him. But it's similar to that of the Denver Broncos, where I don't know what to make of their offense. New O-line, younger players, dropped a lot of passes last year, as we said, in an older Big Ben that's not going to move around as much. For the Pittsburgh Steelers this year, I'm going to have them going 9-8. That might be a little harsh because of how good their defense is and how consistent Mike Tomlin is, but I think 9-8, going off of what they finished the season last year as, and the new offensive line mainly, 9-8, I think, for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then finally, I mean, there's no prizes for guessing who's coming in last in this division, the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow's coming off an ACL injury. They drafted Jamar Chase to the demise of a lot of people out there. Didn't draft Penei Sewell, but they did improve the offensive line. You brought in Riley Reeve to replace Bobby Hart. Anybody replacing Bobby Hart is an upgrade. And they have one of the better younger receiving cores in the NFL. You got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd. That is very exciting. Joe Mixon's there as well. Now with Joe Burrow, there is some thought that he's still a little bit in his own head. There's a lot of mental things he's going to have to get over in regards to his knee injury. But once he gets over that, I think the Bengals will be fine. Now, they won 4 games last year, but I think it will take a little bit for Joe Burrow to get out of his own head, which can be a hard thing to do sometimes. So I think we're going to give him a couple weeks to recover mentally, and then we'll see the Bengals and Joe Burrow that we saw before he got hurt last year. So right now, this might be a little harsh, but I think 5-12 for the Cincinnati Bengals because, yeah, they won 4 games last year with Ryan Finley and Brandon Allen as their quarterbacks. Or wait, was Brandon Allen there? He's there now. I don't know if he was there. I think he was with Denver. Or was he there too? Either way, Ryan Finley was there. Let's just say that. But I like Joe Burrow a lot. I like the pieces the Bengals have on offense. Defensively, they got some nice pieces there as well. Not all much talked about defensive pieces, but Bates at safety is one of the more underrated safeties in the NFL. You've got some decent pieces, but I don't know if Zach Taylor's the guy. And when Zach Taylor, or if Zach Taylor gets fired this year, Joe Brady is going to come in from Carolina, and we're going to see the LSU offense from when Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase were tearing it up and won the national championship, because Joe Brady is chomping at the bit to get to Cincinnati to coach up Joe Burrow and now his partner in crime, Jamar Chase. So with that being said, that's all I've got for you for the NFL season preview for the AFC side. Now, for those of you who are unaware and we didn't really talk about the playoff spots, here is the playoff predictions for the AFC. We got 1 through 7 because there's 7 playoff teams now. But for those of you who can't read, we're going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs as the 1 seed, Bills as the 2, Browns 3, Titans at 4, and the last playoff spots go to the Baltimore Ravens, the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Miami Dolphins, who will be battling for the New England Patriots for that last spot in the playoffs. But yeah, that's what I've got for you today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Again, we'll be making an NFC video coming to you shortly. We've got more United States stuff, so don't worry if you're trying to watch more United States stuff. We've got that coming for you. Make sure you go check out all the links in the description below. Go and follow the podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Just search The Logan Blackman Show. While you're at, might as well go check out some nice TLBS or The Logan Blackman Show merch, because it's very nice and very comfortable. So I very much appreciate if you at least checked it out. But with that being said, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. It was still long for being just an AFC side, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all with the NFC preview. Peace.